Do Vic Lindell.
The best do what the rest are not prepared to do. That's a subject I've wondered a lot about. I've been involved in sports. I've coached high-level sports. I've coached community sports. I've worked with business executives. And I've wondered, what is it that the best do what the rest are not prepared to do? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most honored guests. All of these apply to you. Apply to you in Toastmasters. Apply to you and your family. Apply to you with your children. Three things. They all do visualization. They all picture in their mind's eye the result that they want. They do that on a regular basis. So the first is the power of visualization. The second is the strength of their AQ, their adversity quotient. And the third one is their mindset is a mindset of get better as opposed to be good. I was very, very fortunate in my early days as a coach to come across a study that they'd done on the power of visualization. We're talking over 40 years ago. Actually, more than that. This study influenced my coaching immensely. Simple study. They took a group of university students, they had them shoot basketball free throws. Mark down their scores. 1/3 did not practice for 6 weeks. 1/3 practiced 20 minutes a day for 6 weeks, and 1/3 only visualized 20 minutes a day for 6 weeks. At the end of the study, the group that hadn't practiced, no improvement. The group that had practiced, 24%. The group that had only visualized had improved 23%. When I presented this to a group of divers who were preparing to represent Canada in the Commonwealth Games in New Zealand, Kathy Kellerman came up to me and she said, "Vic, the group that only visualized it improved more." I said, "Kathy, what math are you using?" No. I said, I had the good sense to say, "Tell me more." She said, "Well, the ones who were practicing, you couldn't stop them from visualizing. So they might have been just inadvertently visualizing." Powerful. We've applied it. I applied it in all my sports teams. You can apply it in your public speaking. You can apply it with your children. One of my clients is a school teacher in Brandon, Manitoba. And she said, "Vic, I took my grade 4 or 5 class through a visualization session today." She was a little bit worried because it's a bit wooey. I said, "What did you do?" I said, "Picture what it's going to look like when you graduate." In her particular school, that was a big stretch for some of those kids. But they did the movie. The power of your AQ, or more appropriately, the strength of your AQ. I was asked to interview one of the entrepreneurs who was at the conference at Royal Roads when my son was putting on a leaders conference with world leaders. And Yoshida Hori was there. Now, he's a graduate of Harvard and went back to Japan and had the goal to have the #1 business school in all of Japan, which, by the way, he has now achieved. And he's also an entrepreneur in venture capitalist. And I said, because I did the research on him, and I said, "I noticed last week you were down in Kagoshima and you were releasing turtles out into the ocean." I'm a bit surprised that I read his blog, but I said, "You also said at that time, what happens to all these turtles?" And they said, "Some will survive and some won't. They have to know how to overcome adversity." He said, "Right then, I figured I've got 5 boys, and I plunk them down when they hit 15 or 16 in various places around the world. I said, is that why you were visiting Shawnigan Boys School last week? Or it's Boys and Girls School now? Shawnigan School? Right, Stephanie? Shawnigan, ECS? His son is just finishing up his year at Shawnigan right now. But he said, you know, years ago, we used to think that IQ was an indicator of your success. And then, you know what the next one was? It was EQ. How many have heard of EQ? Okay, some of you have. You know, emotional quotient. He said it's now your adversity quotient that will indicate where you're going to get to. I mentioned this to one of my clients, and he ended up, the next week I'm talking to him, and he'd already bought the book. Adversity Quotient at Work. I didn't even know there was a book. I'd only done the interview. But I got the book. Powerful. 3 kinds of people. Quitters. Not anybody here. Not anybody that's involved in Toastmasters. And then campers. And then climbers. Campers are former climbers. For the longest time in Toastmasters, I was a camper. Until Garth Calloway said, Vic, about time you went and got some of those, you know, those awards, bronze, silver, and here's 2 manuals, Vic. And I had to go from being a camper to being a climber. We need to be teaching our students to climb. The final one is from Carol Dweck's book, The Mindset. 2 mindsets, the be good mindset and the get better mindset. The be good mindset is the person in university who wants to protect their be good status, and the professor is talking about something that's a little off track, and they put their hand up. Do you know what they say? Is this going to be on the exam? That's the be good mindset. The get better mindset goes, oh, isn't that interesting? That relates to something I was doing somewhere else. And they're in the get better mindset. I wanted to make sure that my grandchildren fully understood this. Young Brody's 8 years old and plays hockey. He has a journal that his grandpa bought him when we were on the ferry. And he marks down 3 things that he wants to get better at in every game. So he marks down. And he doesn't say, I want to get better, as he puts it in correct affirmation terms. I am getting better at. So he puts skating, back checking, forechecking. But how about these 2? Encouraging teammates. And then he has to do a diagram. I go, what's that diagram? Oh, that's me and Chase sitting on the bench talking to our young player that's new on our team. And we're explaining to him where he has to be. Oh, okay. So he marks that down. But he does this every single game. And then, after he puts the diagrams down, he visualizes it. And then Grandpa says, well, how'd you make out? And he gives himself marks. He's never gone below a 7. It's usually 8 or 9. And then Grandpa then evaluates as well, and we have a little discussion. These 3 things can be applied anywhere. The power of visualization, the strength of your AQ, and your get better mindset.